sports things, man. There's two sports things, big sports things going on today.
I don't want to talk about
Number
University
one,
of Louisville.
number one, the New York Yankees did re-sign Aaron Judge.
9 years.
9 years, $320 million. What is that math? What's that math per year? Like $40 million a year?
Just about.
What are you going to do with $40 million a year? But anyway, that's the first big news, Yankees fans, i.e. me.
Who are
second, Louisville, Jeff Brom, past quarterback, is now
Well, you know,
back.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
He was the quarterback while his brother was the quarterback's coach.
Yes.
Okay, and we have the quarterback.
Yes, there's word that his brother is coming with him. I guess he's like the offensive coordinator somewhere else.
At Purdue. They're not
Is it
together?
the same one?
I heard they were together.
I don't know if they were or not.
Oh, I don't know.
Either way, the rumor mill is like they're trying to get him back too.
Yeah.
Which I think bringing a Brom back is going to be like, I don't want to use the name Petrino, but Petrino-esque quarterback like offense.
I talked to
awesome.
one of my bus drivers is as big, I'm probably a bigger fan than you are.
Yeah.
I think he has season tickets.
Ooh.
So, yeah, and he was beside himself.
It's going to be awesome.
Psyched, yeah.
It's going to be amazing. So if you are a Kentucky fan listening to this podcast, I'm sorry, but Louisville football is coming back.
You're listening to a local church podcast hosted by my dad, Pastor Ryan Markham. Be sure to leave a review and share this resource. Love God, love people, make disciples.
Louisville is going to be back on the map for football. Not basketball right now.
I wish you all the best.
But here's the thing. When I talk about sports, I don't like, so there's two people. There's two types of people that talk about sports. One is to say, hey, we won that game this weekend. And the other is, and I love the team. They didn't win, yada, yada. I'm not a we person. Like, I don't play the sport. I love sports. I grew up being a Louisville fan, grew up being a Yankees fan, that kind of thing. If you ever hear me use the term we during, anything, you need to call me out. Like, I think you need to call all those people out.
It's
I really
collective. We're all in this together.
Like, some people say, like, how'd we do this weekend?
Yeah.
I don't know how we did. They lost, right? They lost.
It's the royal we. We're all in it together.
I don't know, man.
I used to have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But
it's a pet peeve of mine, I think. But I don't call it out. I think you should call it out. But I don't
have as much of a problem with it as you. Yeah. I just feel like we're,
Could this become a sports podcast? No, we're a local church podcast.
Definitely not.
But I think that sports and the local church, it's a big deal, right?
Yes.
There are. I want to call some people out.
Sports in the local church?
Well, no. Like sports and the local church.
Okay.
There are some folks who will miss church because of a game, right?
True.
Coming on TV or becoming their a pregame party, or they're actually going to the game and they're like, hey, I'm not going to do church. What do we say to that?
We say,
because now we're going to use the word we. What do we say about that?
Shame.
Well, I mean,
no.
Does Jesus care about the University of Louisville?
Definitely not. I mean, well, in the collective sense of, he cares about all things. But
he cares about the people represent University of Louisville. Does he care about if Louisville wins the game or not wins?
Definitely
the game?
not.
Yeah, I don't think that he cares. I don't even know that he cheers for sports. I don't know. Like, what about the guy with the sign, John 3:16 in the stands?
Yeah.
Is Jesus like, go?
I really
don't. Or
is
it like on another level of like, Jesus cares for the souls of the people in attendance and playing?
Certainly that.
But the win-lose, it's not really here or there. What's it going to matter? Like,
I don't know. Do you think he was like a competitive guy? Like
well,
just
he had
him
brothers,
and his boys?
right? His brothers did call him out sarcastically and scoffer-like in his ministry. Like, hey, I mean, they didn't even believe who he was, right?
I mean,
so
but
was
just
there
like his
competition?
He had dirty feet and he walked on the earth and he was really here. And I feel like even as a boy, he had, he played and
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I feel like he.
I mean, think about this is going to go like in a weird level, but think about like what innately humans care about, right? Yeah. We don't do that on our own, right? There's a God-shaped identity that we all have. We're all created in the image of God, and our competitiveness, right? Our think things that are good, I think those things come from. I think Jesus would have those same things, but they're on a perfect level, right? It's not
right.
Like, yeah.
That's where I was going to go. Like if you're picking teams,
Yeah.
and you're like, I want Jesus on my team.
Yeah.
And like maybe his brothers didn't believe him, but maybe some of his friends did. You know, they were just like, hey, he's the Son of God. Like I want him on my soccer team.
Yeah, I want that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he scores or whatever, and you're like, but this is totally unfair. Right.
So, local church podcast, right? Welcome back.
Welcome back, listener.
We're doing this midweek, but it's going to come out on Sunday, the 11th.
We are reversing in time.
Yeah, and so there might be some news or things that pop out that we don't know about that we're not going to talk about today. But I do want to talk about Christmas.
I do too. I want to talk about
one of my favorite scenes in a Christmas movie is Linus and Charlie Brown. When Charlie Brown's like through the whole episode, it's Charlie Brown's Christmas. And it is like, what's Christmas all about? I feel depressed. I feel like I should be more into it. Yeah. And everywhere he turns, it's like either about commercialism or money. And then at the very end, he's like, what? Can somebody tell me what it's all about?
That's
and
pretty
Linus,
good Charlie Brown,
who holds the blanket, right?
Yeah.
Throughout everything, he says,
do you have his line?
Lo and behold, like Luke 2. I don't know the entire passage, right? But it's Luke 2. So we talked about Sunday, the sermon.
Yeah.
And he talks about the shepherds. And as soon as he say, do not be afraid, in the cartoon, Linus drops the blanket, right? It's a huge moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know that people catch it, but he actually drops the blanket when he says, do not be afraid. I've got good news, good tidings for all men, peace on earth. Like, that moment is the best moment that is about the coming of the Savior, right? Jesus is being born in Bethlehem this day. And then after he's done, Linus picks up the blanket and he walks off stage. And then Charlie Brown and everybody's like, start singing Hark the Herald Angels Sings. It's an amazing moment in Christmasdom.
Christmasdom.
Yeah. What do you got? So talk about Christmas. Like what is Christmas all about? This is the local church. Like what?
Yeah,
do we
don't
want
have
folks?
don't have a sermon to review this week.
Yeah. Like if you have a visitor coming into your church, right?
Yes.
What do you want them to take away from a Christmas service?
I was listening to our podcast from last week.
Yeah.
And in the midst of the podcast, and as a kind of a throwaway line, you were like, if your church isn't preaching the gospel, right? Something. Then find a new church. I think it's something along those lines. But that is what I would say to any visitor. Hey, we are a gospel-centered church.
Yeah.
Like we believe, the gospel story and try to do everything we can to honor God. Thank you.
The live studio audience really agrees. Yeah.
To honor God, to demonstrate that type of a life, a servant's life, and want to help, want to just offer ourselves to others.
Yeah.
So come and join us, and let's glorify God.
Yeah, Jesus focus, right? So if you're not going to a church that preaches Jesus, that talks about Jesus, that shares Jesus, find a church. Like come to Mount Moriah Baptist Church, right? We'd love to have you, and that's the focus. Like that's where we're headed. That's where we're going. It's Jesus, and we want to share that message.
I think so often in life, like existentially, people get to this place of, what's my purpose? Why am I here?
Yeah.
What am I doing? And we define ourselves by our jobs, and I'm a parent, or
take it further. Take it further. Like I defined myself in middle school by what I wear, right?
Yeah, totally.
High school by who I hang out with.
We go through these various roles in our life. I'm a parent. I'm a grandparent, or whatever it may be. And when we have these, I guess we should always be at that existential crisis of what am I about? What am I doing? Because the solution is a child of God.
Yeah.
And that dictates how I parent, how I am a grandparent, how I do my job, that's the fundamental basis of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And, if we get a handle on that, then every other decision we make is based on that decision. So I go to a local church to, build on that foundation. I surround myself with like-minded people to build that foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like how you use existential crisis. That's a really good thing. Like if you're not going through that,
right,
you will, right? There is a moment in your life where you're going to be like, what have I been doing for the past however many years, or what am I going to do for the next however many years, right, of my life. The person who does not know their purpose or does not know why they exist is exactly the type of person we're trying to talk to right now. Like, you have been created in the image of God, the imago Dei of God, right?
Is that me?
Yeah, that's your microphone. That's all right. Whatever. But we have really awesome equipment
here. I really
here.
ruined that moment. I apologize. You were crushing.
What's wrong with you?
I know.
We have really awesome equipment here.
I agree, though. I think that it's healthy to ask those kinds of questions.
Like you need to. And I hope that our church is a place where people can come and not experiment. Experiment's the wrong word, but like tease those questions out, like bring those questions out, like what am I here for? Why am I existing?
Yeah.
Why do I have the job that I have? Why do I have the paycheck that I have? Like, why do I have all these resources that I have? Like, what are they for?
Yeah.
And it's to get the message of Jesus.
And we jokingly talk about, sports, but that's the kind of thing that a person who is struggling with what's my place, what's my purpose, would say, you know what, I can identify with this. Here's a group of people who like something like I do. This can be my identification.
Yeah.
And what a shallow thing. That's just so, like I get it. We're all rooting for the same team here, but there's got to be more to life.
What happens when that falls apart?
Right.
Right? Like, I want to be pursuing something that doesn't that doesn't fade away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That doesn't not last. That's a weird sentence, but I want to be a part of something that is eternal, right?
Yeah.
And if I give myself to that, I'm going to be more satisfied, more fulfilled in things in my life. But Advent, Christmas, go ahead.
I was just going to say, but isn't that like for the average listener, now especially time of year, right? Christmas is happening and like life is happening and it's dark outside of the time and it just feels like so much is going on with regard to life. And if you're just chasing that cat by the tail of the cat and you're just trying to get it all together and manage everything, I think that's what it is. You're trying to manage your life.
Yeah.
Then you're just always tired. You're always struggling. You're always short with your spouse. You're always hard on your kids. You're always tired. And there's just no driving force behind what you're doing.
Yeah. But with that, think about like, this is going to kind of tease in the next section of what we're talking about. But during the Christmas season, here's what we think of as Americans, right? As Western Christians, is like when the Christmas season rolls around, I'm going to get that bonus check to build that pool out in my backyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to get that Red Ryder BB gun, right?
Or the subscription to the Jelly of the Month.
Yeah, or the Jelly of the Month. Yeah. This is the season where I'm going to beat all the bad guys, as Bruce Willis does in Die Hard, right? This is the season that everything comes into place because it's Christmas.
Yeah.
And we've been indoctrinated by these movies of like, good things are going to happen in Christmas. But when we think about just the movies that we like, and we're going to get into the top 5 list here in a second, but the movies that we like in Christmas, none of those point to the real reason for Christmas, right? And society as a whole has gotten to this place
except Charlie Brown.
Except for Charlie Brown, Linus, right? Yes. Specifically. When we get to a place where Christmas just becomes about like things are going to fall into place and then they don't.
Yeah.
Then my Christmas is gloomy and it's not what I think it, and then I'm going to be, left wanting. I don't, what's it all about? Like Charlie Brown. So speaking of Christmas, top 5 movies. It's 5. It's going to be really hard, probably just on the spot.
Yeah. I did no prep for this.
Yeah, no prep. I was going to write down a list. Didn't write down a list.
Well, you have already referred to probably my number 1.
Charlie Brown Christmas is up there.
Okay, that's not even.
Die Hard?
Yes, Die Hard.
So Die Hard would probably be in the top 5. Yes. I would say 5 for me. 5.
Okay.
I would say Christmas Vacation is up there.
Yep, I like it. Funny.
I would say A Christmas Story is up there.
Love it.
Right, those two.
That could be number 1 for me.
Close.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life's up there.
Yep, top 5 for me.
I would like Scrooged from Bill Murray.
The original Bill Murray one, yeah.
Yeah.
The new one with Will Ferrell and Ryan.
Did you watch it yet?
I have
It's called Spirited.
With Ryan Reynolds.
Robin and I did watch it. Lots
Is it any good?
of language.
Oh.
And so we started with our kids, and I was like, you know what? We're going to kind of finish this without you guys.
Shame. Like, that's the point. Yeah, okay.
It's a rip-off of Scrooged, which is a rip-off of A Christmas Story. Or not Christmas Story, just all the Scrooge-type movies.
Charles Dickens.
That are out there. So what did we say, 4 so far? Charlie Brown, Christmas Vacation, Die Hard,
Christmas Story.
I said Scrooged.
I said It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Some people like Elf. I'm not a big Elf fan. It's all right.
Yeah.
You got to be a Will Ferrell fan.
My children are not they're not his fan. And so
I think he's funny, but I don't like that movie.
Right.
I'm not a fan of that movie. Gremlins is a Christmas time story.
Wow, would not have pulled that out of it.
I don't think that's in my top 5, but it is a Christmas movie, right?
Yeah, I was young enough for that movie to be really frightening.
Yeah.
Like when it first came out.
Robin doesn't want to watch it now because she's thinking
because I connect it to being.
I was like, it's not a scary movie.
I know,
but she connects it to being a scary.
I can
scary
see
movie. That. Any other Christmas movies you can think of? Those are some big ones.
People argue with me on this, but I say I think Wizard of Oz, simply because in my
the crowd is not happy with it.
Well, I know, and it's not a Christmas movie.
But it comes out during that fall,
it
autumn,
comes out that Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, they always show it, and I have connotations there.
Gotcha. Yeah, mine's more towards Thanksgiving with that, I think, for me.
Okay.
I can't, if you got other Christmas movies.
Perry Allen would tell you that the White Christmas, like Bing Crosby.
Yeah, the old one, yeah.
What about Home Alone? That's her number one.
Home Alone?
Amy, my wife, loves Home Alone.
Braden, my son, who's 9, has watched all Home Alones except for the new one. There's a new one, like Home Alone 5 or something. Yeah, they're ridiculous now. But what about like those dog movies, Buddy Christmas? You know, those weird things. Never seen those. Any Hallmark?
Barbie
movies?
Christmas was big in my house.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know that we ever watched that.
Yeah, it was big. Yeah. 10, well, I guess more like 15 years ago.
Yeah, so Christmas, right?
Yeah.
We are, I guess, commemorating the Christmas season here at our church services through Advent candles, the lighting of Advent candles, hope, joy, peace, love. Those are the typical, the themes for those. But Advent is Latin, Adventus.
Arrival.
Which means the arrival or the coming to a place or coming, right? And so we are preparing our hearts for the arrival of God in flesh, right? Baby in a manger. But we're also looking to his second coming as King of Kings, Lord of Lords, that kind of thing. So that's Advent. Now, we don't do the calendar here. I don't know if your family does that, and there's different chocolates for each day or whatever. But
I don't hate
supposedly.
That I don't do that, but that sounds like something I should be doing.
But a lot of other churches might be more liturgical. They might actually have an Advent reading each Sunday and things like that.
Now we do, and you can follow on our podcast website and our church's website, www.mbc.
mmbcky.org. Yeah.
And under our resources section,
we'll put a link under the thing too. Yeah.
There's an Advent reading calendar that a lot of us are following through.
Yeah. December 7th today is when we're recording this. You're going to get on the 11th. It's a day that will live in infamy.
Yes, we had to put the flag at half-mast today. That's right.
81 years ago, I had to do math. I'm not good at math, but 81 years ago, Pearl Harbor happened, which I guess kicks off World War II.
Right. Kicked off America's
involvement. Involvement when we take it to
bring it on
Japan, and then ultimately the Nazis and that kind of thing. But another infamous day is my wife and I's anniversary.
Happy anniversary, bud.
20
I should have
years.
started that.
20 years.
My wife and I were talking about that. We also will hit the 20-year benchmark this year. We weren't friends when we were married, but it's interesting to me.
You and Amy weren't friends when you were married? That's sad.
It was an arranged marriage.
Did you get anything good? Like, did your family exchange?
I got a dowry like you can't believe. Yeah. But no, you and
yes, we were not friends.
We were not friends, but it's really interesting to me that we were, so close in our walk of life that our kids are the same. We have children the same age. We got married the same year, and anyway, happy anniversary, pal.
Thanks, man.
It's a great milestone.
And it's my father-in-law's birthday.
Hey, there you go,
Roger Bennett. If you're listening to this, happy birthday.
Oompa.
I want to kind of move into
Oohoo.
Oohoo,
I said Oompa. Oompa. So sorry.
That is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which is another good movie. Not a Christmas movie.
True.
But
not the Johnny Depp version.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. You know how much he got paid for that movie?
No.
It was like a ridiculous double-digit millions for that movie. I think it was like 50, 60 million he got to
Tim
do that
Burton
movie.
did that version, right?
I don't know. I don't like it. And I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it at all. But speaking of movies,
yes,
Indiana Jones 5 is going to come out.
No, I am a huge fan as well.
I'm a super hardcore fan of Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, and also Han Solo in the Star Wars movies. But what's your favorite Indiana Jones movie of the 5? Right, so let's go through them in order.
Yeah,
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Love it. It was a little bit before my like really appreciating
Gotcha.
movies. Like,
Gotcha.
but having now as an adult and gone back and watched them all, I like Raiders.
I have a story when I was little bitty, maybe 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know how old I was when it first came out. I was being babysat, and that was the movie that the babysitter was watching when I was little bitty. Apparently, I was terrified.
Yeah.
But now, so that's the first one. Temple of Doom.
Liked it. That was kind of in my wheelhouse right there.
Then you have The Last Crusade.
No, I started liking it less.
Nice.
Not that you can't. I mean, Sean Connery, you're not going to go wrong, but you know that.
Do you have a Sean Connery voice?
No, I mean,
Come on.
who doesn't? But I'm not going to do it on the radio.
Bring it.
No way.
Bring it.
I didn't like him as the doofusy kind of older guy.
Okay.
I like him.
Junior.
Yeah.
That's it. Then you have the.
I don't even want to talk about
horrible
the fourth one. Yeah.
Crystal Skull.
Not even worth talking about.
Shia LaBeouf is in that movie. People were upset that he's not coming back or he's not in the next one.
Was Shia supposed to take over the
I think that was
mantle?
what everybody thought,
Yeah.
but obviously that didn't happen because he went
bonkers.
he just got a lot of money and did his own thing.
Yep.
And now you have the new one. Oh, I had the title in my head. I don't have the title.
Code of something, isn't it?
I don't have the title. I feel really bad now. I got to look it up.
Yeah.
But which is your favorite Indiana Jones movie so far?
Raiders and then Temple of Doom. And they're not too far apart in my world.
Nice. I would say Raiders are the number one.
Yeah.
The new movie is called The Dial of Destiny.
I said
And
code.
in the trailer, this is not a spoiler. This could be a spoiler alert. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the trailer, go look at the trailer. Before you look, push pause on this and then come back. In the trailer, it looks like there's a nod to the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, really?
Like in the trailer, there's this scene where he's in front of this window that looks like the Millennium Falcon, and it's the coolest thing ever.
Cool.
I think it's George Lucas's nod to like, I still am the Star Wars guy, right? It was interesting to see George Lucas, Harrison Ford, how many movies they've made together, but like just the diversity or not diversity, it could be diversity of how much Harrison Ford has done in George Lucas type stuff, right?
Yeah, I would have picked Star Wars and Indy.
Yeah, I mean it's there. Do some research, everybody, and then here's what I want you to do. Give us your top 5 Christmas movies.
Yeah,
and then give us your nod to Indiana Jones if you like Indiana Jones. Which one's your favorite?
Okay.
Localchurchpodcast@gmail.com.
Love it.
Right. The only thing I got to end on.
I got one. I got one.
What do you got?
It's
You got
going
a
to take us
bring it.
a minute or two. So, are you a resolutions kind of guy?
Resolutions, like New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Are you?
Occasionally. But
have you started thinking?
No.
I think it's a convenient time to do some reflection, to say, okay, the calendar's starting over. I think we're always should be in resolution mode, kind of like our existential crisis as well. But I have been thinking toward a resolution.
Ooh.
And I told this to my wife.
Now, if you put this on air, you're going to stick with it.
I know.
Okay.
I've already shared within the last month or so that I have foregone the keto, and I'm just embracing my chubby happy guy.
Getting all fat and sassy. No, you're not getting fat and sassy.
I'm not. But here's my I'm considering a pretty radical resolution.
Okay. I'm excited.
Hour early wake up time. 1 hour.
What is your wake up time now, if you don't mind me asking?
6:30 a.m.
So you want to get 5:30?
I set here. I have a routine. Yes, I'm looking at 5:30. I'm staring it straight in the eye. Right now, my alarm goes off at 6. I hit the snooze 3 times. That's 9 minutes apiece. I will get out of bed at 6:27.
Okay.
It takes me 17 minutes to get prepared, dressed, ready, out the door because I've done everything in the night before. It takes me 15 minutes to get to work. I hit the door at 7 a.m. Like I have it down to clockwork.
Yeah.
But I feel rushed. I don't have a moment of anything. And I'm considering adding an hour.
Nice.
To my routine.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to do a little, starting my day with scripture and prayer.
Yeah.
Starting my day with some type of reading otherwise. Starting my day with some type of physical movement. I ain't waking up to exercise.
Ooh.
That's out.
Okay, yeah.
It's out. But maybe prime the pump, get a little, maybe just, a little couple push-ups or something.
Yeah.
Like waking up to exercise makes me like want to rebel. Like I'm not doing it.
Nice.
But
all the endorphins get going, right?
I know.
At first you don't like it, but
drink a little coffee, get to a chill spot, have a little time where I can put my thoughts together before I attack the day. That's attractive to me.
I like it. Yeah, they say people that get up really early get a lot more stuff done.
I'm really considering it.
Nice.
Are you considering any kind of resolution?
Let me add this. I'm not going to answer that question.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I don't, because if I put it out there in the universe, and it has to happen, and I don't want to be a failure, right? But Jonathan Edwards, theologian, pastor in the 1700s, had a list of resolutions that he added to each year. Okay. I want to read a couple because get your brain going, right?
Okay.
So originally around 1720, 1722, whatever, he started this list and he added to it, there's 70 resolutions over. I'm not going to read all 70, obviously, but here's one. That I will do whatsoever I think to be most to God's glory and my own good, profit, and pleasure in the whole of my duration.
That was a resolution.
That was one of his resolutions. Here's another one.
Monster.
Resolve to do whatever I think to be my duty and most for the good and advantage of mankind in general.
I like that's tough language, but the idea of
this language is beautiful.
Don't put off what you for tomorrow, what you should do today. Yeah. Like, I'm going to do my duty, whatever
3,
it is.
Resolve to do this, whatever difficulties I meet with, how many and how great soever. I don't know what that means, but he said, whatever comes my way, I'm gonna hit it, right?
Yeah.
Resolve never to lose one moment of time, but improve it the most profitable way I possibly can. He does this over and over and over and over and over again, right?
Awesome.
I might put a list out and share that coming up, but yeah, resolutions. We're getting to the end of the year, coming down to the end of the year. And we're going to do like a review, I think, coming up.
I look forward to that.
Towards the end of December.
Yes.
Maybe close to the new year.
We've gotten some recent statistics.
Some really cool data that I think is going to blow your mind.
It blew mine when we were reviewing it.
Yeah, here's what we want to do. Local church. All the things that we're talking about, it seems random, but we want to be able to connect it. That there are real people that go to real churches that deal with real questions and have real, ideas and thoughts about who knows, whatever runs the gamut, right? From movies to theology to church, whatever. We want to be a place where we can answer questions and just talk about Jesus and share the good news, right? So if you have questions, localchurchpodcast@gmail.com, comments, whatever, send them in. We'll talk about them.
Bring it.
And love God.
Love people.
Make disciples.
It's good.
That was good.
I liked it. Yeah. You're good.